dear sisters, I'm in a very confused state of my life. I gave up so much for my husband, my dream of pursuing a second degree, my dream of acquiring a good paying job, my dreams to be financially independent. I gave all of that up for him to pursue his dream, with the assurance that I will be helped out to also pursue my dreams in higher education. It's been over a decade. I'm still a first degree holder while my husband is a PhD holder. We have 2 kids and I take care of them. I wasn't even bothered by that because of my kids made me happy. My husband's mother died, and unfortunately, in the same month, mine got hospitalized. I needed money to pay for my mother's surgery. My husband insisted he needed to save to bury his mother. Can you imagine? He was choosing between spending on the dead over the living. He refused to truly give me the money. 2 days prior to my mother's surgery, I contacted an ex-boyfriend for help. I asked him to loan me 30,000 Ghana cedis. He was willing to give it to me, but not as a loan. I wanted a loan. I insisted, but he made it clear he wasn't going to give it out as a loan, but as a result of sleeping with him. Despite everything my husband has done, I love him too much to cheat on him. But I must say that I'm confused. Is my husband not being unreasonable? Sisters, I really need your advice. Please help me. Olivia.
Ay. First and foremost, you know, as women, it's okay to sacrifice because of the kids to some extent, you know. But I believe, Shangi, that once the kids are old enough, right? I always say that I will give you advice based on my personal experiences because I don't know much. All I can do is advise you based on my personal experiences. I recall actually putting my work and my bit of my life on hold after I had my kids. So I decided, okay, well, I didn't just decide, but my husband and I came together and then we agreed that kids don't ask to be here. Therefore, I'm going to take some time off work and just stay home and bring the kids up. I wanted to be able to take them to school in such a way that when they go to school and then somebody asks them, somebody does something to them, I can say, what did the teacher do to you? What happened? And all of that. So put my work and everything on hold. And once my kids were old enough and they had started school, what did I do? I went back. There's so much importance in women being independent. You can't, in this day and age, completely rely on your husband. Well, there's some families who actually there's some men who actually enjoy taking care of women, but I feel like as a woman, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. At least there needs to be something that you need to be able to do because of tomorrow. You don't know tomorrow. Anything could happen to your spouse. And I believe like it's vice versa. So honestly, I feel like that conversation desperately needed to be had. And I appreciate you putting some time away, but it was too long. I don't even know how old your kids are right now. But if I were you, I would literally go to my husband and tell my husband that my mommy desperately needs money. It's not like you don't know, but this guy is ready and here and willing to give me money based on me sleeping with him. Now, if you were in my shoes, my dear, what would you do? Tell me what to do. So be open to him. Tell him that this is what it is. If you have messages back and forth, show it to him. Tell him that desperate measures call for desperate, what do you call it? Is it desperate actions. Situations or desperate actions? But you're being pushed to the wall because this is what it is. Have that conversation with him. Let him know. It's not like he doesn't already know, but sometimes it's good to have that conversation with them so that you sort of bring their minds, like give them a mind check and tell them that, yo, my guy, I've sacrificed so much for you because of the kids, because of the family. And even though you might take it for granted, it's not easy. And honestly, kudos to a lot of women who do that. It's not easy. I mean, switch things around, and the men don't even know what to do with their children because they're never there. They're always out and about. So let him appreciate your story and tell him that this is what it is. Does he want you to sleep with the guy for the money? If not, your mother desperately needs help. Because what else are you going to do? You don't want your mother to die. His mother is dead. And honestly, I really feel like he's being very, very selfish about this. Have that conversation with him. If that doesn't work out, find somebody he listens to. I honestly feel like in most marriages, it's always good, before you embark on the relationship called marriage, it's always good to find that one person that your husband actually listens to. I'm not saying that go out there and be telling everybody your problems and vice versa, like all over the place. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there needs to be one person that your husband respects, one person that your husband would listen to, one person who would actually bring everything back home for your husband. That is, if you talk to him and it doesn't work. But by all means, I always believe in the fact that if you have any problems with your partner, don't discuss it with other people. Discuss it with them. Try and solve the situation at home. If it doesn't work out and you're pushed to the wall, then find that one person that your husband can actually listen to and let them know and let them come and try and speak to him. But by all means, I honestly feel like you should let him know that this is what it is and your mother desperately needs to be saved.
Rosie.
Okay. So, to start with, as women, when you're in a relationship, I've always said this on the show severally, that even in a marriage, even where you're not even working, whatever money comes to you, save some. Because typically men are very adventurous with money, investments. They want to do this, they want to do that. Now, for women, you cannot decide that your children are not even in the house and walk out. Most of the time, when somebody walks out on children, it's the men who walk out because they didn't carry the baggage. So most of the time, they find it easy to walk away. But for a woman, no matter what you are going through, it's very difficult for you to live without the children. Very few women do that, but it's very difficult for women to live with the children. So when times get hard, you are caught with running your home. So that's why I believe that as a woman, no matter which space you are in life, you should be able to save some money that is your money, your own, that you can use to take care of your family when things like this happen. That's one. Two, the beginning of her story started by saying that she supported her husband to do this, to do this, to do that. I didn't have a problem with that. So she said that, but she is still at first degree. Now, it's not everybody who wants to grow in terms of the educational ladder. At least she's had a first degree. But the fact that she put it there means that she's not satisfied with where she is. Mm-hmm. And that's where my problem is. You love your neighbor as yourself, not more than yourself. You are supporting your husband, yes. But there are ways of also supporting yourself to also get where you want to get to. Now, that being said, educational success does not always equate to financial success or life success. So which means that even without that success, you could have been doing something to give you money. Because right now the problem here is that you don't have money to do something. Now, I completely disagreed with her when she went to ask her ex-boyfriend for money. You see, certain fires you don't play with. There's a reason why the person is your ex. There's a reason why it's no longer working out. And the fact that the person is your ex, it means that there are some fires, there are little sparks that may generate. So for me, there are so many people you can ask for help. But the fact that you run to your ex, for me, is problematic. And if I were a man and you were my wife, and you came to me to tell me that you have asked your ex, and this is the condition your ex is giving, I'll tell you to go and collect it from your ex. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There are so many people you can ask for. Friends, family, people. But you see, relationships, let's not put ultimatums on certain things. Work at dialoguing to get an understanding, to communicate with your partner, to come up with what you want your partner to give you. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you take drastic measures. But one of the measures should not be an ex. If my husband came to me and said that, you, my wife, you are not giving it to me, so I've gone to engage my ex-girlfriend and now she says she can give it to me 10 times a day, but you can only give it to me once. I don't think it will sit down well with me. So yes, it's good to ask outside help. It's good to let your husband know that, look, if you don't give it to me, you have to go outside. But bear in mind what we've gone through, what we've been through. I can understand. And sometimes how you communicate. Even though in Ghana, they say that there are two people you should never speak ill of, a pastor and somebody who is dead. If you speak ill of those people, people will come at you, people will come and get you. And it's because of our traditions and how we heal the dead. So even though logically, his mother is dead, and logically she's already gone, yours is still alive and stands the chance of being saved. In our local African parlance, you don't rub people the wrong way when it comes to death. So don't try and compare it. Ask for help. But if you try and compare that, but your mother is dead and gone, so why are you not looking at mine who is alive? Then it means that you are justifying the dead. And emotionally, so just let him know that, look, babes, I need this. My mom is in hospital. I need you to be there for me. I need you to, I need you. You are my husband. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to turn to.
But is it logic for him to want to spend the money on his mother first rather than...
That's what I'm saying. It's not logic. But when it comes to death, in the African setting, people are usually not logical. And you, the one who has lost the person, you can't always be logical in thinking. So somebody who hasn't lost the mother would probably be very logical, like, look, listen, let's put these two aside. One is dead and gone. I'm so sorry this woman is dead. I wish you could have helped her, but it's happened. Now this one needs our help right now. Let's concentrate on the real thing. A third eye looking at this is definitely going to say that. But you that you have lost your mother, you that you have lost your parent, especially if you are very close to that parent, that's what I'm saying. It depends on how the conversation is had. Because there are times when you think you have a right, when you think that you have a right to something, you ask in a way like, look, I have a right to this. So this is what you have to do. So when you're not careful, the fact that you are demanding it, it hits the people the other way.
Right.
But if you communicate properly in such a way that, look, I need this. So for me, I have a feeling that they have to communicate more. They have to dialogue properly. But that issue of the ex is where I lost it with her. And even if you want to ask your ex, and your ex says, unless, you do something before I give it to you, you have to make a decision to keep it to yourself and not go back there again. Mm-hmm. You understand? But for me, if I were a husband and my wife came to me to tell me that I have gone to ask my ex, and this is what my ex is saying, I'll ask you plenty questions. Mm-hmm. I'll ask you plenty questions, and one of them will be that I'm sure the two of you are already involved.
Right. Okay. Sisho, what are your thoughts, especially with what she said about, sacrificing her own life for her husband?
One thing I like about some of these letters that come through is the fact that it gives all of us an opportunity to see into this thing called marriage. That fortunately or unfortunately, you may see someone else having a certain type of marriage which is beautiful and glorious or glamorous to you, but you may not necessarily have the same marriage. You see, like Rosie rightly said, the Bible says love your neighbor as yourself, not love your neighbor more than yourself. And I always say this, I read it in Laws of Power and it stuck with me. Once you're around people, interestingly, today I was watching a video that was talking about the type of people you need around you and the type of people you need to be for those people to impact you. Somebody who encourages you, somebody who inspires you, that is somebody who is more intelligent, smarter and everything better than you, and somebody who challenges you. But the third person has to be somebody who acts, and that has to be you. Once you are having some sort of a relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's family, whether it's marriage or partnership or relationship, you need to understand that as you rub off them, it's like iron sharpeneth iron. As you rub off them, they must also rub off you. And once that is not happening, there will come a point where there will be a mismatch. Your husband is going to school, and I think I've also said this on the show several times. When you are with people, especially in marriages, and they are improving, once you don't improve, even friendships, it happens a lot. And I tell my kids this all the time. When you go to Achimota school and your friend who went to Fancheniko secondary school or Nifa secondary school, no disrespect to any secondary school, it's just, back in the day, there used to be, there used to be a lot of, there's A class school, there's B class school, there's all that. So that's the type of example I'm trying to pick. I'm not trying to disrespect any school. There will come a time where the sending of letters stop. Even when you are seeing a boy in JSS and the boy goes to a school maybe in Tamale and you are in school maybe in Cape Coast or Accra, there is a certain way they all suddenly start to. So I'm bringing that example back here. Your husband has done his master's and all that and you are stuck with a degree, which of course, based on the letter you've written, you are not proud of. You wish you had more, or you wish you were rubbing shoulders or on par with this person. There's a feeling at the back of your mind that if I had also achieved or gone this far as he has, maybe things would have been better for me. So the thing is, the trick is do. Don't just wish. Don't just think. Don't just imagine. Don't just hope. Because it will not happen with all these things unless you actually act. This should be a wake-up call to us as women. Back in the day where men would even ask you to be at home as a housewife and they take care of everything from even to your generation. These days, the men are not like that anymore. They've become, for lack of a better word, and I'm using this very lightly, they've become quite selfish. And I think it's also based on the economy we find ourselves in. And when it comes to, again, back to the death matter, when it comes to men, logic does not play a role when it comes to their mothers. If it was a father, it would have been a different topic, men and their fathers. But men and their mothers, it's a no-go area. True. Most of the times I tell people, when a man, even when you're dating someone and you feel like he's too close to his mother, too close for comfort, maybe you may want to look at it closely before you get involved with that person. Because when push comes to shove, he will choose his mother any day over you, no matter how much he loves you. When it comes to men and their mother, men are the most logical creatures, but logic does not play a role when it comes to that. Now, unfortunately, this is the situation you find yourself now. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with asking your ex for money. After all, they are your ex, they are people you dated. Sometimes it's because one or two things didn't work. It's not because they are necessarily bad people. I don't believe that evil human beings you can't really necessarily go back into having interactions with. Now, but the unfortunate thing is this particular ex has given exes a bad name. He's making it look, this particular ex. Because I have exes who have come to ask me for help. And there are exes I've gone to ask for help from. And they've given me willingly without asking for sex.
True.
You know? But here's the case. This person is asking. I feel she should have just kept it to herself. And then maybe look for someone else to ask for a loan from. Okay. If you are somebody who has been in the working space before, or you have a life outside of your home, you didn't abandon your friends when you got married like some girls do these days. Your friends are people you can fall on and say, listen, this is the crisis I'm going through at this point in my life. Is there a way you can help me and give me this amount of time, this time to pay you back? Your friends are one. If you have a few close friends in church, close members of your church, you could also approach them. If 2 or 3 people, hey, please, can you help me put this money together? I will pay you at this point in time. Thirdly, like Rosie rightly said, as women, even if you are not keeping the money at home, these days there are all forms of saving opportunities. Like there is this one on the mobile apps that people save on. There is one I personally use. That's what I was saying. I didn't want to mention it because there are so many other. Yeah. There is even this one that I personally use. It's a cooperative where you just every week I just send some money, because mind you, there are things that will come up in life that you may. What if your husband was also sick at the point you needed money for your mother and he couldn't provide? It is based on these reasons that you need to personally have something for yourself. I'll tell you this for free. I used to be on a certain WhatsApp platform, and the WhatsApp platform was just about talking about other people. At what point are we going to talk about things that will improve our lives? True. If I'm selling this, how many of you on this platform buy it? If something is happening to me, or is it every day somebody's mother is dead, somebody who is not on the platform, or who doesn't contribute to anybody? So eventually I just had to leave the platform because I had had enough of it at the time. Because there were people who were working in the bank, etc., who I was thinking they can come and talk to people on the platform about investment opportunities, etc. But nothing like that ever goes on. It was pure gossip. It was pure gossip. It was pure gossip. Everything that happens in this town, somebody will come and post, and then now people will come and comment. post something about, oh, I posted ever on that platform and nobody commented.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's
and
bad.
so after ever, I was like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this.
Of course you don't.
And yeah. I don't need this. And for me, I don't separate my work from my personal life.
Yeah.
If you don't appreciate my work, if you don't respect my work, you and I have no business dealing in private life.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of women need to take a cue from this and remember that as you are doing this thing called life, do other aspects of it in such a way that every time you look back, there is something to fall on. Save. Make meaningful friendships because they will come in handy. Sometimes you've not saved enough to be able to get the amount that you want, but you have friends who you can say, oh, babes, listen, I've been able to gather 10 from here. Can you add 5 for me?
True.
I'll pay you next month, or give me 2 months, I'll pay. And actually, when you take it, a lot of Ghanaians do this, which is why I'm going to mention it. Pay.
Yeah, sure.
Pay.
Yeah.
Can you loud that
Yeah.
part?
Yeah.
Pay. When you take it, pay.
And that's how you
So
build
the
collateral.
next time, exactly. So the next time you go again, my personal friends I've known for 20 years, 15 years. When I take money from them, I pay back. If I say next week and next week comes and I'm not, babes, I'm sorry, this and this came up, so please give me next week, I'll pay you, and then I pay. Because I know I will go again. You never know, and that's what a lot of Ghanaians do, which is just appalling. So these are the things we all should take a cue from. It's unfortunate it's happened to her now, but I think she should put the X aside at this point and figure out other alternatives of sorting out her problem. But for the husband too, look, let's call a spade a spade.
I feel like he's a
Yes,
selfish
let's call a
person.
spade a
Oh,
spade.
he's
Very
selfish.
I think
But
he's a
because he
for me, I
didn't
didn't
send
want
it
to
in.
address him now because he didn't write the letter.
Yes.
But after all is said and done, as a husband, you are a very unfortunate husband.
True.
You are a very unfortunate husband. You are inconsiderate and cruel to your wife. And I don't see how you expect her to be the same wife after dealing with her issues on this. But that being said, marriage is one of those challenging things you have to deal with. So if she feels any type of way after resolving her issues, if it is counseling, they should go. Whatever it will take to bring their marriage back to level playing field, she should do that.
But
I don't
wanna
think he
quickly
sounds like
add-
someone. I don't think he even sounds like someone that would want to go for counseling. I feel like he's a bit authoritative.
Yeah.
In the sense that if I have sacrificed everything
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
because usually when people make family plans, they could say, okay, we don't have enough money because we're having
Yeah.
kids. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So, babe, let me go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me be the one
Exactly.
to go,
Yeah.
and then
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know. But after everything,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
didn't. I feel like
Yeah.
he's a selfish person.
But to quickly add to what Sisha was saying, right? You know, sometimes as women, when the pressure comes and we try to be super women in the midst of all the chaos, having kids, doing that, we lose sight of ourselves.
Yeah.
The reason why I know this is because I've lived it. Where my mom actually decided she was a teacher. She was actually going to make principal, I said principal, she was going to make headmistress in the school where she used to teach. And she met my dad and decided to put work on hold to be able to take care of all his kids. Now, this is the catch. She inherited other kids. She didn't want to be seen as a wicked stepmother, and she didn't want to be seen as a sicadacious mother. Do you understand? So every penny would come from my father. Even till the last minute when she wanted money, she called my dad that she wanted money to go to the hospital. And my dad told her that he didn't have any money because she didn't come to the marriage to come get. Her focus was, okay, has school fees been paid? Do we have food on the table? Have clothes been bought? So she lost herself in the midst of all
Taking
of
care
that.
of everybody.
Just making sure that everybody was going to be okay. And just because she also didn't want to come across as somebody who was like a gold digger in the marriage. So it's unfortunate. So I'm just saying this so that we can also be empathetic of women who actually find themselves, but because by the time you realize life has just passed you by, you are old.
but
I'm not making excuses.
Yes.
I'm just saying that this is a wake up call.
Yes, that's
this
what
is.
I
I'm
want-
not.
yes,
I'm
that's what
not.
you
I'm
should
not
use.
making excuses.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying that this is a wake up call just because of what I personally went through and why some women just think, okay, the focus and everything is like that. But having said that, I also want you to know out there, because you brought the submission, your case is not a lost case.
Yeah.
If you want to better yourself, honestly, you can start. Now, there are online universities that you can go online and start something. Or
She
you
doesn't
can
have
actually...
30,000
She
for her
doesn't,
mother,
she
so
doesn't have
money.
No, I'm just saying that just because she actually mentioned that education is like as a part of one of the things that she really wants to do, just because she kept comparing herself with her husband. So that she should do a checklist of what she wants for herself in life, what she needs to do, and she should start saving one day at a time, and she can actually make it.
Rosie, 1 minute.
Okay, so what I wanted to say was that when you brought in the issue about the husband being selfish, something that women need to also note is that when you're in a relationship or a marriage and one person is progressing and they are not giving you room to also progress, it's actually a red flag.
Yes. Yeah.
So, because it's not like you don't want to. You want to, but he tries to let you feel like, I'm the man of the house, I need it more than you. So I need to do this so that I can fend for the house. But every meaningful spouse would want their partner to go along with them.
Yeah.
Half the time you see couples where one comes in to help the other party and the other party ends up stealing the other person's dreams. When I'm saying stealing, as in living the dreams and hopes and aspirations of the other one. But because the other one is in a less dominant state, maybe that is a woman or probably from a less affluent background or something, you realize that they succumb to that and then they allow you to progress with the hope that one day they'll return the favor. Human beings are innately selfish. All human beings are innately selfish. It takes the grace of God, maybe the fact that they love you so much, or maybe they had good upbringing or something to sort of like tweak some of those things a little. So when you are progressing in life with a man, make sure that whatever your dreams and aspirations are, don't kill it for the relationship. Always make sure you progress. And the last part was about the friends. Now, I know that if you are somebody who shunned your friends when you were getting married and all that, you find it difficult. But trust me, true friends, you can always pick up a phone and call them. I'm not saying broadcast to all your friends, but if there's that one true friend, you can call that friend will now speak her mind to you that, hey, I was really hurt by what you did. But because they genuinely loved you, they will show up for you.
All right.
True.
On that note, it's time for us to take a quick break and we will be back with our second story.